Varykino, living the Star Wars life. Hello there, it's Anaria with a new video for Villa Varykino. I've recently renovated my studio room and that included adding these drawers to the space to store my Star Wars fashion. So, of course, I'm going to pick out some of my favorite Star Wars collectibles to add to this new display space that's been created. I went with a Women of Star Wars theme to place some of my favorite Star Wars collectibles of the leading ladies, Rey, Queen Amidala, and of course Princess Leia. So, I'm very excited with how it came out. I've got some of my favorite and rare pieces here. Of course, this isn't everything of these women that I own, but it's some of my favorites, and it makes a really neat display space that I can enjoy every time I work in this room. So let's take a closer look. I'm going to start here with Rey, being the newest addition to the Star Wars saga, and she has some incredible collectibles out there. I'll start here at the front. This vinyl snap fit statue is by Kotobukiya. She is called Rey, Descendant of Light, but as I like to call her, Ray of Light. She's a little bit harder to find, but she's a beautiful addition to my collection. She comes as a pre-painted vinyl snap fit kit, meaning that she's in pieces in the box and you snap the pieces together, particularly things like her arms and the staff and the base. I really like the dynamic fabric sculpture around her feet. She's a little bit slightly differently colored to many other Rey collectibles, but I quite like this interpretation of her. And with the different sculpting style. I really like this dynamic pose with her staff up. A lot of Rey statues include the staff, but obviously as they didn't want to spoil her eventual use of lightsabers. But this Ray of Light is a very pretty addition to my Star Wars collection. She is a light plastic, so she's not as heavy as many of the other collectibles by Gentle Giant or Sideshow with the polystone and resin, but she really does look quite at home alongside my other collectibles. Also in the front here, we have Hot Toys. This is the deluxe version of Rey, which came with BB-8 and this extra little sand base that snaps onto Rey's base. She comes with a variety of accessories, including her backpack and hood and goggles, as we see her scavenging on Jakku at the start of The Force Awakens, but I prefer her in her classic look. The booklet in the box also mentions that you might damage the hair sculpts by having the hood on for extended periods of time, so I decided to just play it safe and keep them off. And I really do want to appreciate the amazing paintwork on the Hot Toys figures. She's super pretty. So I have her posed with her staff and the blaster that she gets from Han Solo in her sort of early Force Awakens look. Next up, we have the Rey Dreamer statue from Gentle Giant. This statue comes in two versions, a Premier Guild exclusive version and a standard version. The Premier Guild exclusive version, which is the one here, comes with Rey wearing her X-Wing helmet. The standard version has her with her 3-bun hairstyle. I really like the exclusive version. It does come with both heads, so you can display or alternate whenever you like. But I think it's a nice variation on the others that have Rey in her classic look, as it really does fit the moment in Force Awakens where she's sitting on the sand and dreaming of life among the stars. I think it's a really neat addition, and I'm really happy that I was able to secure the Guild exclusive version. She comes with a few pieces that you have to snap together, in particular this front arm and her staff. You had to kind of snap her together, and it was a little bit of a tight fit getting it up over her knee. It's one of those ones where you're not sure if it's going in the right way or if it's going to break, but thankfully with a little bit of jiggling we got it in there and she looks amazing. I really like the pose on this one. Most other statues have her standing upright, so it's nice to have her in a sort of a moment of quiet contemplation. In the back here we have another statue by Gentle Giant. This one has Rey standing up as she's seen in some of the promotional material, caught in a gust of breeze. So she has her hair kind of swept across her face and her fabric sort of tabard bits are sort of being swept to the side. This statue comes in a solid piece, so there wasn't too much to put together, but I'm a little bit sad that the base is this big. Of course I could see that in the images before she arrived, but seeing her with my other pieces, it does take up a lot more space than perhaps she needs. I know the staff does project a little bit, but I feel like maybe just a shade smaller on the base so she could fit a little more tightly in my collection, but that's just a small sort of critique. I think she's an amazing piece, and I'm really happy with the way that she looks together with my other pieces. And last, but certainly not least, the premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. This is one of my largest pieces. She is the premium format scale, so she's very tall, and she is standing with her feet up on this sandy sort of ridge. Very evocative of Luke looking at the twin sunset in the way that she is posed, with her hand on her leg, and her classic staff, and her Force Awakens outfit. I really do like the fabric work on the premium formats. It really adds to the whole look, and this one is one of my favorites. I really do like the paintwork on the face and the detail and the pose, just everything about it. It's a really neat piece. So that's all my Rey girls all together. I think they look really neat together. I know it's all Force Awakens versions there, but there haven't been quite as many large-scale collectibles of her Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker outfits. So I thought I'd go with a classic theme. I know Hot Toys in particular has done her in her different outfits, but I'm sort of going for a theme here. So I think it looks pretty cool all together. So moving on to the Queen herself, Queen Amidala, and we have to start with the beautiful dolls by Robert Tonner. These were released in about 2000 from FAO Schwartz in the US, and they are quite limited. The standard version, which is the ceremonial gown here, came in a limited edition of 400, and she has her ceremonial gown or celebration gown as seen at the end of The Phantom Menace. And there was also a trunk edition which included this sort of Senate gown that she wears in Phantom Menace. Now this doll came in a limited edition of 200, and she also has the ceremonial gown as like an outfit that she can put on, so you can swap her off and dress her up in this one. But I was very, very lucky and was able to find somebody selling both, so I could put both together without having to take the outfits off this doll and swap them around. So they are very, very pretty. Very old school sort of porcelain and beaded detail. And they have these acrylic bases that they can stand on. They are very fragile, and I have really wanted to put them in a place where they're completely safe, and their hair pieces do tend to collect a lot of dust. So I'm glad to finally have them in a space where I can keep them away from more dust and really put them on display where they'll be safe. These are blackout curtains with plastic behind them, so there's no hint of sun coming in to damage those fabrics. So They're very, very tall. You can see them compared to the other collectibles, and they really deserve a pride of place in the center of this display. They look absolutely gorgeous. So, moving on to the Queen Amidala collectibles in the front. We have the classic mini bust by Gentle Giant. This is Queen Amidala in her throne room gown. Very classic gown from the episode 1 promotional material. This is kind of styled off a promotional image of Natalie Portman as Queen Amidala with her hand raised, and I was very, very happy that they finally released this version of Padme in the Gentle Giant mini bust line. It is one of my favourite outfits of Padme Amidala, and I think that this version is just really, really pretty. And of course I had to put her in my special display space to go with the other Queen Amidala collectibles. And down here, she's a little bit smaller than all the others, but no less treasured. This is the little porcelain Limoges trinket box from France. Also available at the same time as the Tonner dolls, and very hard to source for anybody internationally. And even today, it's hard to find a lot of information about her, but she is this gorgeous little porcelain trinket box. This clasp at the front opens up to reveal a tiny little trinket box inside where you can put a small treasure like a ring or a necklace, and she is just amazing. Underneath, if I just pick her up, we can see it has the maker's mark and Lucasfilm all hand painted on the bottom. She really is a very special little piece. It's hard to find a lot of higher end collectibles of Queen Amidala. Padme tends to not get as much love as some of the other ladies like Leia and Rey, so I'm really happy to have particularly these two pieces alongside the Tonner dolls for my collection. And last but of course not least, Princess Leia. Starting off here in the front, we have this neat little collectible from the Bradford Exchange. This is a sculpted sort of porcelain layer. She has a mirror base with the Star Wars logo and this kind of glass or faux glass plastic swoosh around her, with some of the Rebellion starships swooping up behind her. And she has a fun little rhinestone detail on her belt. She's not as finely painted as some of the other collectibles, but that sort of reflects her cheaper price point. But she is no less beautiful. I really do like the dynamic motion of the swoosh around her and the accents on her dress. It really is like her dress is being whipped up in the wind with the launching of some Rebellion fighters. I think it's a really pretty pose, and so that's why I put her alongside some of my other favourite Leia collectibles. Moving on, this one is by Royal Selangor. This is a pewter sculpture of Princess Leia, so this is solid metal, and she's quite heavy. She's amazingly sculpted, very similar to a statue that Gentle Giant did many years ago, with some differences. And I just love the fact that it's just so different to a lot of the other collectibles, this solid silver-toned metal sculpt. And we can see she has a numbered plaque down the side. This is an edition of 5,000. She was a little bit harder to get, but I was really happy to add her to my Leia collection. In the front here, we have another mini bust by Gentle Giant. This one is, of course, Leia in the gown that she wears in Cloud City on Bespin in Empire Strikes Back. This is a particular favourite costume of mine, and Gentle Giant really did a good job of capturing all the little printed detail on her gown. And I'm really quite impressed with how they managed to do that on this folded, sculpted piece. It's a really nice addition to my Leia collection. In the back here, we have a porcelain statue by Lladró. Now this is a really special piece to me. It has a very classic, almost sort of Art Deco sort of era style sculpting to it. It's long, it's fluid, and she's got a really beautiful face sculpt in the way that she's sort of looking like she's going to grasp her hood while she holds the Death Star plans. It really does make me think of that very poignant last scene in Rogue One where she receives the Death Star plans, and this one is a really special piece in my collection. She's just beautiful. Then last, but of course not least, we have the premium format by Sideshow Collectibles. This is actually the third Princess Leia premium format that Sideshow has done. They have done an earlier version of Leia in her white dress, as we see here, and they also have done a Leia premium format with her in the metal bikini from Return of the Jedi. So I was not able to get the first version of Leia in her white dress in a premium format scale, so I was very excited when they re-released it. It's not the same sculpt, but I do really like this one. Like the Lladró statue, this one also comes with Leia holding the Death Star plans and her classic blaster. And we have a bit of the sort of the tentive floor. I really like the sort of classic white dress Leia collectibles. And this one definitely does it justice. I really like the white dress, particularly in the premium format scale, which gives space for the fabric to really get that good drape that is so crucial to this costume. And of course, Sideshow doing a brilliant job with her face paint and sculpt. It's a really pretty piece. It really does evoke Carrie's performance. So those are my Leia collectibles. So altogether, I'm really happy with how this all came together. Just a few of some of my favorite collectibles of the women of the Star Wars saga. And now they're all together in a place where I can see them every day and really appreciate them and keep them safe. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my Star Wars display, and may the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.